Alright, the title of this topic isn't mine. I'm kind of trying to make videos that go along with the ALEKS software program, and they call this topic Combining Like Terms Advanced. Personally, I think if you stick the word advanced onto the end of anything, especially math, people are going to be like, oh, there's no way I can do this. Honestly, it's not that bad. And it's actually just teaching you what I call as good housekeeping in math. It's kind of keeping track of your negative signs, thinking things through, kind of being on your tippy toes and making sure you're getting what you're doing instead of just kind of drifting through it. Alright, so having said that, there's a lot more advanced combining like terms that you're not going to have to learn this year, so you can relax. This isn't the super duper advanced type. And it's, again, what I consider just taking care of your negative signs, good housekeeping. Alright, let's just run in, I think, and just jump in and do an example. Something like negative parentheses. Let's do 6u. We'll do minus 6 just to add it some interesting things. Plus u. Alright, so one thing I would like to say, if you have something like this negative, this first quote-unquote negative sign, you can think of it as a negative sign. I like to think of it as the opposite of. And if you think of it that way in this case, what you should catch yourself doing is say, gee, I need to take the opposite of 6u, and I need to take the opposite of negative 6. And once you've done that, you won't need the parentheses anymore. So the opposite of 6u is negative 6u. The opposite of negative 6 is positive 6. Now we don't need the parentheses anymore, and that's golden. Once you don't have any parentheses, all you have to do now is try to isolate different terms that are the same type. So we're going to put our u's in boxes. We have a negative 6u. Is there anything else that needs to have a box around it? Yep. And when I put my like terms in different shapes, I notice that I put the sign in front of the term. So I have the negative sign attached to the 6u and the positive sign attached to the u. I know you think of them as minus and pluses, but they're also indicating what sign they are. This guy here is all by himself, but I'm going to put him in a circle because he doesn't get to play with the other two. So we're looking at our boxes. What's negative 6u plus 1u? That's going to give us a negative 5u. Like I said, that other 6 has nobody to play with, so he just gets tagged along, and that's your final answer. So the lesson of this example is mostly just that when you see a negative sign out in front, think about what it really means. And if you can think of it as taking the opposite of what's in the parentheses to get rid of them, you're going to have a lot easier time on that. Alright, let's check out another one. Let's do one similar, but I'm going to spice it up just a little bit more. Negative 5y plus x minus 6 parentheses 5x minus 3y. Alright, so I threw in 2 sets of parentheses this time. Woo! Give you a minute to write that down in your notes. Alright. The first parentheses we're going to handle exactly the same as we did in the last problem. We're going to treat it as it's telling you, hey, take the parentheses away, but to make it legal, change the signs of everything. Take the opposite of this guy and take the opposite of this guy. So that's what we're going to do on our first rewrite. The opposite of negative 5y is 5y. The opposite of positive x is negative x. And now we're going to rewrite the rest. We're just going to take it little steps, keeps us good with our housekeeping. We're not trying to get too much stuff done at once. Alright, the next issue is this 6. It is actually a negative 6. That negative sign is attached to the 6. So when we go to distribute or multiply through, we need to multiply a negative 6 times both the terms in the parentheses. And again, just keeping track that the negative is attached to the 6 is all that you really need to remember to do. So let's start rewriting. We're not touching the 5y, we're not touching the minus, we're not touching the x. Now let's do negative 6 times 5x. That's going to give us negative 30x. I know I'm saying negative 30 and it looks like I'm writing a subtraction 30. Same thing. Alright, so we've got the negative 6 multiplied by the 5x. Now we need to take the negative 6 and multiply it by the negative 3y. What's negative 6 times negative 3? It's positive or plus 18y. last thing that we want to do, we have no parentheses, which is terrific. We're going to put our y's in boxes. Is there any other y's? Yep, and again, you want to put the operation in front of it. Doggone it, that was supposed to be a box. You want to put the operation in front of it in the same container because that's going to tell you the sign of that term. The x's we're going to put in circles. So we have a negative x here and a negative 30x there. Circle-ish. All right, let's look at our boxes. We have 5y plus 18y. We can add those two together. That gives us 23y. Let's look at our circles. We have negative x minus 30x. Technically, we can think of that as a negative 1x. So that's going to be minus 31x. These guys can't combine at all. One has an x, one has a y. They're not like terms. And you're all set. All right, let's try another one. Okay, let me scroll this guy up. All right, let's try 4 parentheses, negative 3w plus 3, close parentheses, plus w. All right, well, this one isn't too bad at all, really. What we're going to do is we need to get rid of parentheses. That's always the first thing we want to do. So we need to, what they call distribute, or multiply through this 4. So 4 times negative 3w, that's going to give you negative 12w. Then we multiply the 4 by the 4 by 3, that's just a plain old 12. And then we copy the rest of the problem over. We'll give the w's the box. And this guy is also w, so he needs a box. And then this guy has no friends. Alright, so let's look at our boxes. Negative 12w plus 1w. Again, you can put a 1 there if you want. That's going to give us negative 11w. The 12 has no friends, he just gets tagged along, and they cannot be added together. Just resist that urge. How'd that feel? Alright? Alright, the next one I'm going to have you write down, and I'm going to have you, after you write it down, pause this video, and have you work it out in your notes, and then you can hit play and see if we come up with the same thing. Alright, I'm going to play around. Alright, so let's try negative 4, we'll make this a fun one, w minus v, plus, we'll say 2, I should have made that a minus sign, I'm going easy on you, that's okay though, plus 3w, may have a negative sign, so that's good. Alright, hit pause, give it a whirl, see what you get out of it. Again, our goal is first to get rid of the parentheses, so we're going to multiply through with this negative 4, so negative 4 times w is negative 4w. This next multiplication is negative 4 times negative v. So that's going to turn positive. Copy over that plus sign, and now we need to take the 2 and multiply it by both of those terms. 2 times 6v is going to be 12v, plus 2 times 3w is 6w. Great, my parentheses are all gone. I'll give my w's my boxes. How'd I end up with a wv there? That's not right. Go away. Sorry about that. I bet you were like, Howard, what are you doing? Alright, so as I was saying, we'll give our w's the box. Any other w's? Yep, way down here. And we have a v, so that will get a circle, and another v, and that will give us a circle. So we look at our boxes. Negative 4 plus 6 is 2w. And then our v's, we have a 4v and a 12v, and that's going to be 16v. And again, we can't combine the w's with the v's when we're adding, so we're all set with that. Alright, I hope you got that right. If something didn't seem clear, come track me down, ask me, clarify things. That's what I'm here for, and I hope it went good. Thanks.